In one of my presentations, I have discussed about use of chi-square through R into C contingency table. But this chi-square can be used in all such cases where expected values can be computed. It is actually a kind of non-parametric test, and in case if some hypothesis is there or a specific ratio is expected to be obtained, then we can have data from the population, and from that data means in that data we will have different categories, and we can also calculate the expected values. So based on observed and expected values, we can calculate chi-square value, and then further analysis can be performed. So through this video, I will explain that how this chi-square test can be used in some of the cases where a established hypothesis is there, or where we can apply certain rules to find the expected values. See, this chi-square test, as I told just now, is a kind of non-parametric test. That is, in this kind of test, there is no use of calculating mean value or standard error values, means central tendency values or values of dispersion. Such values are not calculated at all. They are totally irrelevant to be computed. It is a test of goodness of fit, and it can be applied in all such cases where observed and expected values are available. Its formula is very simple. Summation observed minus expected, its square, divided by expected is the formula. So it can be written as sum of O minus E, its square, divided by E, where O and E exist for observation and expected or expectation values. Now I'm going to take up an example, and this can be very well understood by a biology person, because those who study biology, they definitely study genetical aspects. So we all know that Mendel performed an experiment, exactly the same experiment, monohybrid cross, I have actually mentioned in this particular example, and we will see that how we shall apply chi-square test in this particular case. So the question is, tall and short garden pea plants were crossed with each other, and in F1 generation all plants were found to be tall. So this shows that tall feature is a dominant one, and we all are aware with such kind of experiment which Mendel performed long back in 1865. So what he did, that when he obtained all tall plants in F1, then such plants were again crossed with each other, means they were self-crossed, and then in F2 he was able to observe tall and short plants exactly the same way. Suppose an experiment was conducted, and then the F2 plants obtained, they were 760 and 240 in number. Then you have to apply appropriate statistical test to see that whether the F2 result follow Mendelian 3:1 segregation pattern. So this is the question, and when we are given this option that apply appropriate statistical test, then in such case we have only one option, and that is of chi-square, because there is no need of calculating mean value or any other kind of parameter. So here we have to work on an established hypothesis, and the hypothesis is that when such kind of F1 plants will be crossed among themselves, then we shall be able to get tall and short, two different kinds of plants in the ratio of 3:1. So we have to see whether this ratio is being applied in this case, or it is really applicable in the present case or not. Now we are going to solve this question. So I'm simply writing here the F2 results. Tall and short plants were obtained. Their number was 760 and 240. Now total becomes 1000. So what we expect, out of 1000, 3 by 4 must be tall. So this we are expecting, and 1 by 4 should be actually short. So we expect 3 by 4 to be tall and 1 by 4 to be short. So when we do this, we find that 750 plants should be actually tall and 250 should be short. So this way the total will also become 1000. Now you actually performed the experiment, or some experiment was actually performed, and in that experiment you got this F2 result, that is 760 and 240. Now you have to verify, you have to analyze whether this F2 data is in Mendelian pattern of segregation. That is, it follows 3:1 ratio. If it exactly follows 3:1 ratio, then the number must be 750 and 250 in F2. But you got 760 and 240. So we have to see whether the difference between the observed value and expected values are, the difference exists significantly or not. If it is insignificant difference, then we will accept the Mendelian hypothesis. So in this particular case, the chi-square analysis has been done. It means observed minus expected, its whole square divided by expected. That formula has been applied, and based on that, the chi-square value for the first case, that is 760 minus 750, the value will come 10. So 10 will be squared, it will be 100, and this 100 will be divided by 750. Now that value comes 0.13. And in the second case, when you will do 240 minus 250 divided by 250, you will get the value 0.40. Their total comes 0.53. Now the calculated value of chi-square, it comes 0.53. And then we actually find out degree of freedom, which is obtained by number of cases minus 1. So there are two different classes, tall and short. So 2 minus 1, that comes 1. And at 1 degree of freedom, table value at 5% level, chi-square table value will be 3.841. So we have to see whether our calculated value is less than this table value. If it is coming less, then we will accept the hypothesis. And yes, we are getting less value, that is very much less, 0.53, than this 3.84. So we accept the hypothesis. It means probability of occurrence is more than 5%. That is, probability is more than 0.05. So initially what we thought, our null hypothesis is that tall and short plants in F2, they are found in the 3:1 ratio. And alternate hypothesis becomes this ratio will not be there if F2 plants will be observed. So in the present case, we find that yes, segregation pattern is in 3:1 ratio. So we actually infer that short and tall plants in F2, they are in 3:1 ratio, because we accept the hypothesis, null hypothesis, and probability is more than 5%. So this way chi-square can be employed, can be utilized in such kind of cases. Now this is the table. You see, this is chi-square table at 5% level. This value is 3.84. So just to see that how this table will be seen, you can see this table in the book of statistics, or in genetics book, or at internet you can get this table, chi-square table, probability table. On this left side you can see this degree of freedom is given, and then on the right side in these is in these rectangles there are chi-square values, and if you find that the calculated value is less than this stable value at 5% level, then you will actually accept the hypothesis. Now I have taken another example also. See, in this case there is no established hypothesis, rather you have to apply the rule of probability. Here is a question. The question is, 3 child families were observed for the number of male and female children they had, and the data obtained is given as follows. Let me tell you that what kind of data has been accumulated here. Actually 1000 persons who have 3 children, you can say 1000 couples, they have actually 3 children each, and such couples were observed for the number of male and female children they had. What was observed? That out of those 1000, 135 were there who had all male children, that is all 3 were male children. Then 365 persons, they had 2 males and 1 female child. 370 persons were there who had 1 male and 2 female children, and then 130 persons were there who had all females, that is all the 3 were girls. So you have to see whether in the population the male and female ratio in this family exists in appropriate ratio or not. So apply chi-square test to find out that the ratio of male and female children in these families follow genuine ratio. So we can have this binomial expansion rule, that is p plus q to the power n, and since 3 child family is being considered, so it will become p plus q to the power 3, and when you will put that case, then you will find the ratio coming as 1 by 8, that is there should be 1 by 8 ratio of all male children, likewise 1 by 8 all female, and 3 by 8, that is 2 male and 1 female, and 3 by 8 1 male 2 female. So this ratio you should have in the population, and this is the observed data. Observed values are given here. You have just seen in the question that 135 persons are there who have all the 3 male children, then 365 are there those who have 2 males and 1 female, then 370 are there, they have 1 male and 2 females, and 130 are there, they have all 3 female children. Now if you consider the expected value by considering 1:3:3:1 ratio, then you expect 125 all male, 375 2 male and 1 female, 375 1 male and 2 female, and 125 all 3 female. So you have now observed and expected values, and then you can find out the chi-square values. So chi-square values you have to calculate for all these 4 separate classes, and that will come 0.80, 0.27, 0.07 and 0.20. Now their total comes 1.34. So you have now calculated chi-square value. It is coming 1.34. Degree of freedom, that will be 4 minus 1, since there are 4 classes, minus 1, it will come 3. So at 3 degree of freedom you have to see the table value, means chi-square table value at 5% level, and that value comes 7.815. So when you will see the chi-square table, it will exactly come 7.815 at 5% level. Now you have to compare your calculated value with this table value, and what you are observing that the calculated value is less than the table value. So you accept the null hypothesis, and the null hypothesis is that the ratio of male and female children in the population will be 1:3:3:1. So you actually get this ratio and the probability is more than 5%. So you accept this null hypothesis, that is the ratio of male and female children in the population occur in the required ratio. So this is the use of chi-square, and as I told in the beginning, it is a non-parametric test. That is, you will be collecting data from the population, and based on certain hypothesis or certain established fact, you will be calculating the expected values, and once you have observed an expected values, you can find out the chi-square value, and you can do its further analysis.